Alrighty. It's what day is it? It's still the third, August 3rd, 2024. 6:33 a.m. New York Eastern Time, USA. This is Dr. Mia Lueth, and I'm not trying to force scripture on anyone, okay? All I'm doing is one of the spiritual gifts I have is Christ-like discernment. So those of us who have that, it's much easier for some of us to find common language ways to help in understanding, and that's all I'm doing. Okay, so there's some things that they're synonymous and it's okay, but there's some that aren't, and so sometimes it's pointed out to me where some confusion might be here there, and so then I'm permitted, you understand, to check with certain types of common language, vernacular, things like that, to make sure that where there was confusion, it is no more. Okay, so I'm a friendly no matter who you are. Okay, I'm in the U.S. I can't force any of that on you, and I don't plan to. Okay, but I am going to make the statement that there are some who aren't really doing much research. And you see like one 45-minute YouTube video and you think you're an expert. And, well, no, not really. Okay, it's not the case. Yeah, for instance, what I do, I wasn't even allowed to start doing until I was age 40. So it took from 1972 to, that was the year I was born, to the age 40 before I was even permitted to do some of this. So the time and effort that gets put in, you understand? You got to put the time and effort in. It doesn't matter. Right. It doesn't matter. You can be naturally born to do something, and you still have to learn. You still have to find where you might need a little work or where you have a little better understanding. And you do have to check with people. Now, there are some people who are familiar with councils of 12. I've already been through my two. That's already happened. Okay? No, it doesn't happen twice. Okay? And a lot of us, we're not hiding things from you. We're not. It's not something I do. There are times when I know something's being worked on and it's not ready for public. And there are times when I know that there's some stuff that, gets kept quiet before like a release date or something. Or there are times when certain checks have to be made by certain types and kinds. Okay. Right. So I'm recused, so I can't be in a council of 12 for a while, which is the right thing. But if the attacks on me don't stop, it's going to end you. There's a perfect situation, and it doesn't need to be re-perfected. All right. So, right, that's my comment, is that's not something that I'm required to do at this point. And the more you try to make me do, the harder it gets. Do you understand? All right. So now I'm one of those, just, okay, well, yeah, it was wrong that it happened to me in the first place, a lot of it. So I made sure, like, no. Don't dump that shit on the kids. And so I was allowed to gift humanity a spiritual gift from birth. So I chose Christ-like discernment. Yeah, they inherited that one from Auntie Christ. Yes, Tanta Christ. Naturally born with their protection. Naturally born to know the difference. So, but it's helpful for the parents of these children, you understand? Okay? And that's why I'm saying, If they were born after 2012, and they were all born with a spiritual gift, Christ-like discernment. All right? But it isn't to wreck your belief system in any way. You understand? Because there are 7 angelic churches. You understand? So there are different situations. So sometimes it's kind of hard to tell where do I fit in. We don't have to try so hard. Okay? Don't try. It is more like it. Because what you're naturally born with, okay, it's going to activate at the right age for you. So some of the things that were happening to children on Earth before 2012 can never happen on Earth again. Well, that's right. I'm Antichrist, not. And if we ever do that, it's so we can adjust. And so I can spot for him for a while, and he can spot for me for a while. But it's because we're actually like related that way. You understand? Right. And it starts to become more clear. But listen, anyone around the world, if you have a child born after 2012, if that kid just will not go near someone, that's the big clue right there. You be wary of those kind, no matter what angelic church. Okay? So the last church takes care of its business separate from me on purpose. Okay? Because that is the appropriate way. And it does make sense through all 7 angelic churches. But if nobody explains it, you understand? And so there was a succession of generations. You had the proper information, but you did not provide it to your children. Okay? So I'm not looking for criminals. I'm not looking for demons. I'm not on a witch hunt. I'm not on a Holy Christ hunt. I'm not on any of that. Okay? Right. And when they first start learning, they can seem like extremists, is what I'm saying. But listen, their heads are covered the whole freaking way. You understand? So younger ones, you got to give some leeway. And they might not pick up on it until they're like 25. But some might pick up on it when they're 20. Okay? It's not really timing in that kind of way. Okay? But because of that, a lot of things that were happening on Earth will stop happening. And every adult on planet Earth should feel that love and peace now coming to know that they have a way now. You don't have Christ-like discernment. You still got plenty around you. Okay? But it's not to dump a bunch of stuff on. Okay? Hi there. The children born after 2012 on Earth, they're not hybrids. Okay? Right. No. There's some old stuff that's still clearing out from a previous situation. And that takes a little while. Okay? But he knows how to maneuver time in certain ways, stretch. I know him very well, and I still don't understand it. So don't worry if you're walking around stupid and confused for a little while. You understand? I mean, I'm directly related, and I'm still sometimes like, what the? Well, I'm sure I'll pick up on it. He gives you that for free without any issue. That kind of time, that kind of support, that kind of. And so, yes. So, what I'm saying also is it can be difficult for some. All right. When you're talking about lies, as in untruths. Okay. It happens often. All right. Somebody hears something. It seemed like it was put in an educational format. It seemed like it made sense. They then repeat it, and they're not purposefully lying. Do you understand what the difference is? Okay. Just someone heard something and it seemed like it made sense and they repeated it to someone and it may have gotten taught, and but as all humans grow, they start to learn that you may have seemed like a little liar when you were a little kid, but it wasn't, because it was just stuff you heard and you repeated. Okay. So parents, a little bit on calling the kids liars. More importantly, what you do is say, well, where did you learn that? In a calm way, because perhaps as a parent, you didn't know something. So there is that kind of thing going on. But what we're talking about is purposeful deception. Okay. Now I don't worry about the paid liars, the actors. Okay. Like that's what they do for a living. But other people, you understand? Like trying to influence friends and win people. Well, that's shallow and it's false and isn't real. Okay? Right. And there are people who will trying to be decent to other people that they may not fully understand, but they're willing to listen to, say something that to, let's just say, another angelic church might seem like a falsehood. Okay? But that's why in the Holy Bible it does mention, right? But there are other air quote world religions too that you tie into that. It's just a different angelic church, and they work differently but equally, you understand? And so that's why at one point I just said, okay, all anybody right now really needs to do is just reread Revelation. Okay, right. Some of them don't need to go back, right? Some of them do. I agree. You need to get the foundation, and it's called the Old Testament. Okay, you still need that foundation. You can't skip that part. Okay, but right. But the reason why they're variables all the time is free will. And that is why I'm saying it. I know. I know. I went through that with some, and I understood why. I get it. Why at first look, you're like, well then why is he letting all this shit happen? And he's not. He's not. Certain number have to be ready. When enough of us cry out, he knows to take action. Okay? And it doesn't happen the same way for every angelic church. But in ways that we may not understand, we still all work together, no matter what. Okay? So there's some who know about Mary. There's some who know about the Angel Michael. There's some who know about Raphael. There's some who know about Fred. And so overall, okay, everything on planet Earth is becoming more and more simple to understand for some. Okay? I'm not hiding anything, but I do have to respect people's privacy. I do have to respect the fact that there's 7 angelic churches. I do have to respect the fact that in the United States, that's just not something you do. They get an option. If you don't want to be spiritual, I'm not going to say anything to you. It's your choice, your free will. And suicide is a matter of free will. Now, I don't suggest it if you're not really like near death. For real. You understand? Okay. That is a matter of free will. So, okay. Sometimes some of us will pick up on other people. And that can get confusing for others because, so some of us know, okay, well, that's not coming from me. Someone must be struggling. So you don't take it personally. You just kind of quietly let that be known and then help them see a different perspective. It's going to help them understand. Like, no, you're actually good to go, man. Look at it this way. Okay? Human perceptive systems. That's why I showed the, well, I guess I can thank Ryan Reynolds. I know, yeah, that was the one. I'm like, what the hell? I know I didn't watch this much Bob Ross when I was a kid. But that's what I'm saying. You see, there's actually 47 layers, which may seem incredulous, but there is. And it's like I used a whole bunch of different, I used acrylic and oil and glue. There's some fingernail polish on here. There's all kinds of stuff. It just took a bunch of stuff that would have been thrown away and just did this with it. But see, I turn it and there's some shimmer, and then you can see a little depth. But not all of us are going to see it the exact same way. That's normal and natural. And it's okay. Like, somebody could be sitting maybe 4 feet away from me. And if we're outside in the sun, I might see glinty things and they can't see it at all. Right? So that's basically what the example is here. And yes, it is pointillism, except it's just layered. Like, yeah, I use dots the whole freaking way. And so it gets like a little more clear, that part back here. But when we get closer, it's like there's like you can start to see individual dots. And I only did that with the land part. Okay. But that's what I'm getting at, is just the way humans are made. Perceptive systems can pick up different things. And so someone could swear they saw something. 10 people over here can swear they saw something. 10 people over here are like, what the hell are you talking? Also, some of these things on YouTube, the videos, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I'm trained too. I mean, it comes to me naturally, but I'm also trained. And a lot of it is not that scary and spooky. And a lot of it doesn't prove a damn thing. Do you understand? You have to understand. What says love believes all things, okay? But it doesn't mean love trusts all things. Okay? And so where some were clashing, they're not anymore because it's not the same angelic church. And so if for some reason You get the sense that you're not in the proper timeline. Okay? I mentioned the name. Okay? Some say Uriel, some say Uriel. Okay? That's a grace-filled angel. Okay? Right. So sometimes they're not fallen, they're just on a cyclic rotation. Okay? It can come across that way. And at first, it is like, oh no. Did I totally fuck up? And the answer is probably not. Okay? But it is true. All the young children of this world get their heads covered now in a variety of different ways we can't even see in sense. So, yeah, that's why some of these, like, some will say five senses and some will say six. Okay, but those are, okay, there's two different sources you could be connected to, is what I'm trying to say. But some of us, we never lost our divine connection. Okay? Right. And I can assure everyone of this one because I live on earth. I'm not going to tell you bullshit because I don't have time for that right now. And so I'm letting everybody know, well, I don't. And I'm not doing the bullshit right now. Okay? Right. Okay? I'm not. And I'm sensing a lot of the musical souls now are, some things are being cleared out that were, I don't know, slight impediments that people thought were some abnormal thing. And now it's more well known and it's better understood that that's not really the case for some. Okay. And yeah, the only thing I can ask anybody, just as a friendly in the United States, I do it too sometimes. I'll help out with something or other. But I have to portion my time a certain way. And it needs to be respected properly. Because if you guys are blocking things, maybe you don't need to be. Okay? That's all I'm saying. When it comes to the males, yes, so I indirectly help females. Okay? And that's a safety measure that's in place for a time. Okay? I'm still helping females. I just do it indirectly. Okay? So when it comes to males, I'm not trying to differentiate. I'm just simply saying it might seem confusing, natural born males who were born with a male only spiritual gift. Okay? Right. If you change yourself and you become female, okay, I'm not saying anything. All I can tell you is that at this point on earth, you still have to stick with your male spiritual gift. So if it seems like there's females helping me, it's because they were natural born males. Okay. That should ease a lot of confusion. Okay. If it becomes problematic, no problem. Just pray for the Holy Spirit and ask for them to be removed. Okay? If it's an issue, can't there isn't the possibility as of right now. Okay, it's not an open time like that to exchange those. Okay? But when that opens again and he's handling, then you can send that for avocation and other kind of things. Okay? So I grew up in the US. There's so many people that years. I mean, I grew up in a world where, there's gay people, and then there's people who dress different, and then there's people who do this, and then there's people who come from here, and then there's people who do these other things, and then there's these other people. For the most part, though, people in the United States want to adjust to each other and give each other a little space sometimes, and try and respect how you are. Okay. But sometimes saying, well, I was born this way, and blah, blah, blah. Probably not. Probably not. Some of the things the fellas exposed when I was around, it's like, should I really let you people run the world, or what the fuck is going on here? At no time did I need to know anything about a butt flower, or a man, a plant in a jar. So there were people around me for a long time laughing all the time at other people. And I knew at some point I won't have to deal with these people very much longer. Some of it's nervous, but a lot of it's like, what the hell are you laughing at, man? So I just tell people, you want to go spend time with your own self and look at your own self in the mirror first. That's all I'm asking. Yes, some of us were still connected to our divine source. It's never changed. And I picked up a leak, a water leak. So they must have been underwater. And I didn't know, so I just sent it to the first council of 12 I could find. And then they take it, and then they locate. So sometimes I can locate. Okay? Right. But only when I am ready to do that. And that's not for any of you to decide for me. Now, what I'm trying to ascertain at this moment is, who the hell thinks they're my boss right now? I've never been to the second garden because I'd rather just sit in the garden and watch the animals. So I can assure you, some of those temptations aren't even real, and you guys will start seeing that much more quickly now. Some, there is a multitude getting a second chance. And no, the human experiment didn't freaking fail. Okay, you're gonna look at it that way. It's just you don't weren't expecting those results. Right. Is what I'm saying. But there are some, yes, you're having your spiritual gifts taken away or blocked on purpose so that you can't cause harm. My only goal since maybe 2004 or so was do zero harm to humankind. So I sent that up, and then you wait. Okay, a lot of you didn't wait, and then you gave people who were doing it the right way a bunch of crap. Well, now that's no. Okay. So I am allowed to jump in and out of collectives sometimes to check a few things, just like others are allowed to jump in and out, right? Well, I'm not the only one. And sometimes we do that together in pairs. Like, okay, well, you're lying there and we back and forth a little bit. Okay, yep, okay, you're good. Okay? But I know for a fact that McHenry McCabe thing, if you guys don't take that stuff off the internet, you will be sued. You will be found criminally negligent. You will be found as deceivers, and that's not something you want, because that's exactly what it is. Killed two animals, a goat and a rabbit. Rabbits scream. Bloody murder sometimes. And it does make sense if you listen to that audio at the end. It's kind of like a partial, ebbing life of a rabbit. And sacrifice female, and they have a term for a sacrifice male and a but they don't have him anymore because I killed him for the sake of the entire planet. And I got unanimous yes from the highest council of 12. And there were witnesses. So you guys can let some shit go now. I'm allowed to end an term. Long time ago, it might have been known as a God killer, okay, but that's not exactly. It was putting an end to the ones who thought they were gods for some reason. And I didn't have anything to do with that. But when it really came down to it, creator of all things, like, well, I know I don't have to, but I will for the sake of the children of earth. Jump in and help expedite, jump in and help find missing, jump in and help people sort of untangle misunderstandings. And so, yes, there's always going to be air quote problems, you understand? But that's normal. And it promotes communication. And so the third chancers separate. For me, they get handled differently. Some of us were not hiding things from me. You got to do better research before you start coming to people sometimes. Okay. Some things haven't changed at all. And they're never going to. What you can't censor the word of God, though, is what I'm trying to say. So if you guys feel like you're coming up against that, well, that would be why. Yes, I'm blood related. But I'm proof that he exists. Okay? But even I don't understand some stuff, so don't worry about it. I know. I wrote it in one of my blogs. There's this like period of time where you're just like okay, all right, this is happening. This is okay, and like for a little while, it's just like it is kind of like you're walking around somewhat blind to it. But that's not a bad thing, you understand? Because he'll protect you from stuff you don't freaking need. But I'm telling the entirety of Earth when it comes to humankind that all children born after 2012 are naturally born with their proper protection, divine protection. And I was allowed to choose. Antichrist, Antichrist, right, was allowed to choose one spiritual gift for the children of earth. And I chose Christ like discernment. Okay? Some of them are born perfectly whole, and you're trying to prove otherwise, and we're done with you. But I do need to ascertain who thinks they're my boss right now, because someone's not exactly totally good to go that way. Right? But I don't need to take power from it. And I'm the one that can't be corrupted. So everybody should trust me that way. I have another spiritual gift, but in using Christ like discernment, those of us who do have it, yeah, we're the ones who can help clear up some stuff sometimes, right? That's the thing, is like my brothers in that fashion, like Sons of Thunder, all that kind of stuff. There's no way they would do that to me. So I knew someone was inappropriately trying to take action when action wasn't needed. And it should be more clear. That's what I'm saying. Just let that marinate. I wasn't telling anybody. You don't need to actively think about it. But there are 7 different angelic churches. And so at the end of Revelation, sort of like a midterm report or like a report card or something. It's like, you're doing this great. Keep doing that. But here's where you need to do a little work. That's why story stealer. Oh yeah, DeGrasse Tyson stole one of my stories. Not maybe more, but I got witnesses for one. Excuse me, sir. You don't get to decide anything about what the fucking universe looks like. And Pluto belongs to us. So fuck you. Sit down. 7 different angelic churches. They all have to do certain work. While that work is being done, these things are still happening. Why? Free will. Okay? Don't worry about if an angel or good is bad, good or bad. Well, no one ever said demons weren't real either. I didn't say that. But you all can't give like an individual demon a hard fucking time because they don't have free will. And that one takes his direction from the creator of all things. And am I kidding you? No. The TV show Suits. And I'm not bullshitting you. Listen carefully. You get lit up, first of all, right? Main actor, his name is Gabriel Macht. Okay. It could be made, it could be made. And if I got that wrong, sorry, in the tense. But Mike Ross is a character name. Mike Ross. That's the character name. Mike Ross, Mike Ross, Mike Ross, Mike Ross, Mike Ross, Mike Ross. The sport, lacrosse. Lacrosse, lacrosse, the cross, the cross, the cross. TV show, Arrested Development. Yeah, watch it all the way through. Well, they made more after a while, right? I'm glad that happened. I'm like, yay! Finally! They're back. That's why I'm saying, like, what I like Lindsay's just a little too sheltered. Chicha, chicha. I'm like, no, family. Block, block, block. Block, block, block. Block, block, block. Okay. There's a lot of new music out the Passengers, I think. Eminem's putting out stuff. There's all kinds. It's just coming out just everywhere. And that's okay. Okay, but I don't work like that. And if you're not going to pay me, then what the fuck do you expect? Okay, I need to find out who think they're my boss. If you guys can help me out with that. Right. And by the way, my name is not Jennifer. So yours did it to the wrong one. So I'm saying go back and do it the right way and you'll be fine. But this damage needs to be undone. I'm allowed to talk to whoever I want. I guess. I guess it's a decent feature. There's an alarm on smartphones, but they don't seem very smart to me at all. Like, the world needs this. No, 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 we don't. We don't need a new instrument. What are you people saying? If you jump in at the last minute and think, oh, we can get it on, no, you got to go back and start again. Too bad. Well, it's either that or just end completely. They came from nothing. What? Hawking. Yeah, a lot of us dumped that crap long time ago. Total crap. Many. Know better, research better, listen better. You guys been praising. It's not even him after a while. I'm sure it was graduate assistants at a certain point, right? He came from nothing, went back to nothing. But we don't come from nothing. We come from him, who always is. And we're still connected to our divine, original divine source. I'm not the female to use as an example for certain things, people. And nobody should be comparing yourself to me. That's just stupid. And I could tell every dude on the planet, all right, I don't care what other females do. I can't. What I can tell you is that, oh yeah, I was in such a bad relationship. I pretty much ditched everything to get the fuck out. And no sooner I start to try and rebuild, you fuckers do it again in a different way. Wait, you're gonna find out why. You're marked. You're gonna find out why you're facing final judgment. It will be made known to you. There will be no, but I didn't know. Bullcrap. So remove the forgetfulness from all those back there so they don't repeat the same mistake. Okay? It's just true. And there's no one above my head, like no female above my head, so I don't know what the hell you people are trying to do. But you're wrong. And you need to withstand some correction. Well, that's another one doesn't handle correction at all. Oh, no, I know what I'm talking about. Ooh, yeah. Well, what I want to know from Neil deGrasse Tyson is, okay, well, what if Beetlejuice is already blown? If we can see it with our naked eye, what do you think it's going to do to this planet, asshole? Or any planet anywhere near there? Pluto is in our solar system. You're not. So get out. Stop stealing people's stories. He's not safe for children, I can assure you. Our universe doesn't even look like that. And there's only one. And if we have to work together like that, I start at one end, he starts at the other, and we start walking towards each other. That way, we can expedite to get those emergency safety needed asylum over here, safety's over here, care unit over here. You guys need this. They're allergic to that because why? Because of the shit that you put in the food. So there are things you can stop doing that make your life better just right out the freaking gate. No, I'm not too good to be true now, am I? I certainly did not waste my time. And I agreed with every prayer that my brother prayed over this planet. And I was already down there waiting before he got there. So I helped him get out. And then I had an angel open it up. It's not a mystery. I will do anything for my brother. He doesn't even have to ask. I'll just pick up on it. But at this juncture, I didn't even need to help any of you. I already did my reasonable service a long time ago. And well, if I were the president of the United States, and I'm glad that I am not, the Oval Office, I would say TikTok is just not appropriate in the United States of America. Or Canada, but I don't run Canada. So in a way, because I'm in the U.S., it's like I'm a prime minister. It's just that I'm in the U.S. You can't call me that. Right? You understand? Right. I get it. I understand how the U.S. government works well enough to know we don't really have that kind of battle here. If it's not a spiritual issue, I hand it off to the air quote state, not the church, but the state, not the state of Maryland, the state. Okay? So I appreciate everyone who understands why I'm concentrating on just U.S. territories. Because we are starting to clear some things up, and there's some things that are happening. And every time somebody in the U.S. has a spiritual gift, volunteers to help on a cold case. Okay, it may not even be that case, but you might open a door for somebody. And it's for sure like a few posts back when I did some Claire work. You guys call it Claire. Okay, so I'm just using terminology they understand, clairvoyant, Claire. Okay, so I'm basically Claire, all of it. Okay, but I don't use all that at the same time. And so I'm not actually like that, but I'm just using terminology that they understand. So they kind of get this sense of what I'm saying. Right. I hadn't seen a single thing. I didn't look, I didn't know anything. I just picked one of those YouTube channels, unsolved. And, right. So I skipped the one that was Canadian. And yeah, I mean, I know that the one fella, Carl, is still alive somewhere. So for those still doing searching, he's still, but Brandon from Texas, I think his last name was King, is deceased. So looking for him in that way is not necessary. And that's not something anybody wants to experience. I got to live their death to help you. And I volunteer. So y'all are going to have to start understanding how to be slightly more patient every day. Just slightly. But yes, and the other one, she's got a protection on her. But she is still alive. And that's all. But her sister was right. The police, yeah, I saw it. I'm seeing the video, and the police said that there couldn't. And I'm like, no, nobody was in the car. Nah, nobody was in the car. Nobody was in the car. Nope, nobody was in the car. Nobody went out. Yep, they were trying to ditch you quick. Yep, they were trying to ditch you. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. And why they found stuff after the car had been dumped and wrecked down this ravine. Um, Woods people found it, and it was like a temporary shelter for them. That's irrelevant to that, right? And so that's what I'm saying to you. I was like, I just know sometimes. But some people in the United States, you have a spiritual gift, okay? I'm just saying volunteer once. Just, let the first law enforcement or whatever know, okay, well, I can try. And if they're not going to, then maybe some other will. Just keep putting it out there. And you may not solve it, but you might open a door. You might not solve it, but you might close the door like, no, that can't be what it is. Okay? Because the more that happens, the faster closure comes. The more we understand, okay, we're not looking for a living person when it comes to Brandon King anymore. So resources can be great looking for the living, but he's a piece. And the cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head, cracked his skull. Yeah, he was set up though. I mean, that happened. But you don't need to look for a living person when it comes to him. So it's unfortunate, but it is a way to understand. Well, then, start putting resources at those that are still living. But you may never find them because they might be under protection. And that's sometimes none of your fucking business, people. I'm just being honest. Nobody's hiding anything from you. I didn't have to do any of this. But I love my brother. I get tired of you hurting my brother. Is what happened. But yes, I'm blood related to the Holy Christ. Like it or not.